What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be going over the price action from December 1st through December 5th. We're going to talk about any trades that I took and also the lessons from this week. And so stay tuned for the sauce. I believe this is week 3 of online journaling for me, so I've been enjoying this for you guys and myself. But yeah, let's just get straight into it, starting with Monday. Alright boys, so this is Monday, December the 1st. This was a no trade day for me, but there are some valuable lessons that we can take out of the day. And so this is market open, and let's talk about the bias so we can all be caught up here. On the 4-hour time frame, we're pretty easily able to see that we were respecting bullish for value gaps and disrespecting this big bearish one. However, we are in this 4-hour fair value gap to the left, like way to the left. And we also just disrespected this 4-hour fair value gap, looks like pre-market, so overnight. So the bias is a little iffy with that in my opinion. So I kind of wasn't leaning towards anything, but that's to catch you up on the bias and kind of the narrative of what was going on. We also were looking like we were about to inverse a 4-hour bearish for value gap as well. So yeah, the bias just wasn't super clear. But dropping down to the lower time frames, let's get into what we can see here and what was going on. So with the bias being unclear, scaling down to the lower time frames, we had LR below, we had LR above, and we also had London and Asia stacked above, and really nice and clean LR below. So there's kind of like 2 draws of liquidity, and this ties into the main lesson from today that I want to talk about. So here at market open, we did have a 5-minute fair value gap above that we did tap. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right here. Here's the 5-minute fair value gap that we tapped at market open. And we quickly got a 30-second inversion to the downside. And just at the time, the LR to the downside was looking extremely clean. It just like felt like a magnet. This was the 30-second inversion setup that I actually wanted to take, but I accidentally set it as a limit order and not as a market order, which you'll see I ended up getting lucky because this trade didn't end up working out. But let me play it out for you guys. We went down a little bit. You should have gone break even here, and then it quickly reversed and would hit your stop loss. So I kind of got blessed low-key. Kind of got lucky on this 30-second inversion that I did a limit order instead of a market order. But yeah, I want to talk about this for a little bit. The main lesson from this one that I took away, and I'm glad I got lucky from it, but the main lesson from this one is when you have 2 main strong draws of liquidity, being this built up LR below and then stacked London and Asia highs above, you'll see later that it's best to just wait for one of them to get hit and target the other one rather than trading in the middle of the range. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to talk about that. But if that makes sense, it's just better and easier for you to wait for one of them to get swept out and taken, and you can target the other one. And so that was that trade setup. I'm going to jump back to the 1 minute and continue playing out the day. Right here, we sweep out that little high. And boom, here we go. We create a SMT at the low. So we ended up taking out all of the LR below. And I can show you the SMT here. Here's that low on NQ, not taken out on ES, so there's an SMT. And then this was another area in the price action that I do want to talk about. Like I just said, I was interested in longs now because we just took out one of the draws, and now we can target the other one, right? So there was some 30 seconds, which I just kind of got into a little bit, and I wasn't super confident with the 30-second inversion, but it was super clean. I know a bunch of people on like social media took it, and this is kind of an area I want to decide like how I need to grow in. So, but yeah, I was looking to take it on ES, but this 30-second inversion to the upside just wasn't super convincing to me. Maybe if it happened on this candle and not the second candle, just with how new I am to 30 seconds, maybe I would have taken it, and I would have taken it on ES because that was the more bullish asset. But yeah, I just didn't end up taking that one. That one would have been a good one to take, I think, looking back. But yeah, that was like just the main thing, not being confident in 30-second, which is something I'm already working on. It's good to journal that right here. But I was looking to get in on this trade, and I'm going to play it out a little bit more so you can see the candlesticks a little bit better. And so I was looking to take the 3-minute because that was the highest time frame inversion in the leg that swept liquidity. If you guys trade similarly to me, you can easily see that on ES, the 3-minute inversion, when the candle closed, it already swept out the break-even high and it already took out the targets on ES's side. So that's just not extremely clean to me. I would much prefer the inversion to close here below the break-even end with like better RR towards the target. And so that was the reason I wasn't able to catch this long setup, but I think the foundation was there. And I think I am happy and proud with not taking this one, just due to the fact that ES did, like, the candle closure was so high above that the RR was terrible and the break even and the targets were already taken. And so kind of unlucky that we didn't get a good inversion setup there, because I do look mainly for the highest time frame inversions. And I do want to see if there was anything else to go over from this day. But that was kind of like the two main lessons. I do kind of want to get more comfortable with the 30 seconds. And then I am currently pretty happy with how I played out this one, with ES taking out the break even and then also the draws. Again, this was Monday, the first price action. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything else. One thing to say is those were like the two main draws of liquidity for me. And so after those were taken, I think the chances of a high probability winning trade becomes lower, in my opinion. And since those were like the two main draws, I wasn't able to catch anything else throughout the day. I think we did have data highs, if I remember. Yeah, I think we had data highs at 10. I do believe this retraced into a 5-minute, but this 1-minute inversion was so premium and not in the discount. Like, the RR again was just not worth taking at all. So yeah, main lessons from Monday is if there's two strong draws, wait for one of them to get taken out and target the other one if you do get the opportunity to get the setup. Unfortunately, I mean, I think this was kind of a reoccurring theme through this week. Like, I had 99% of the setup there, and maybe somehow I need to find a way to improve on this. But I had 99% of the setup there, and just my entry is kind of what ruined it a little bit. I don't know how else to say that, but the way I trade, the highest time frame inversion kind of didn't let me get a good entry, if that makes sense, but that's okay. Alright boys, so I got Tuesday's price action pulled up here, and let's just run through it. Same thing. Talk about the trade that I did end up taking today. It was a dub. But yeah, same thing, starting out on the higher time frame. So today was nice. It was kind of just clear and obvious. We were respecting bullish, disrespecting bearish on high time frames. So that means we're leaning for longs, obviously. We also had a clear, really nice draw of liquidity, being previous day high that hasn't been taken yet before the New York AM session. So that was the main draw of liquidity. We also had a 4-hour bearish for value gap that we were looking to target above that if we continued being bullish. All right, so hop on to the 1-minute time frame. This is market open. I'll explain these levels and kind of what I was thinking for like the plan for the day. This right here was a 5-minute intermediate low. It was just a low that tapped a 5-minute per value gap. And then this one right here was a 1-hour intermediate low. It was also just a low inside of a 1-hour for value gap. So these were like the main levels I was looking to sweep and catch longs off of, because we were leaning bullish on the day, and this day just gave us a more clear and obvious bias. So yeah, let's just play out the price action and I'll talk about what I want to talk about. Market opens, we rip lower and we take out the 5-minute intermediate low. Wow. And as you can see here so far on the 1-minute, there is no setups on the 1-minute. And so this was like another growing area for 30 seconds. We did have a 30-second inversion being at this candle, but the reason I didn't like it is because we did have this other 1 hour intermediate low, and we could have easily went down and swept that. But I am trying to be more reactionary, like I previously have said. The reason I didn't like this 30-second inversion was because the inversion actually happened on the previous leg, not the most current leg. So you can see price action goes down, comes up a little bit, makes a new lower low, and there is no 30-second inversion opportunity here. There was nothing there. The 30-second inversion was from the previous leg. I'm not super comfortable taking anything like that, but it ended up delivering towards previous day high, which is like a free draw of liquidity. It was kind of clear and obvious. And so now we have to like reassess what's going on after like one of the main draws of liquidity has been hit. Luckily, we stayed bullish because we're displacing through the draw instead of like sweeping it and reacting lower. We started displacing through it. And so what I was telling myself is, okay, I still have this 4 hour for value gap that we can look to tap as a draw of liquidity. And so I know a lot of people took this one as well. This one was just a simple continuation trade. And I will show you kind of like the main lesson from this one as well, and like the main important thing to remember. I'll just play out the whole thing and then I'll talk about it. So ES is kind of important on this one. All right, so previous day high was hit. We're displacing through. We have a draw of liquidity above still, luckily, so we can still look to take longs with high probability on our side. We get a 5 minute fair value gap created. We retrace into it. Kind of got this AMD going on, but the main important thing that we should all take away from this day was on ES's side, there was some 30-second opportunities to go long here, some 30-second inversions somewhere in here. But the reason that you didn't want to take those and that you would have gotten stopped out is you want to see some sort of manipulation. And if you just look at ES, we're clearly going down towards the New York AM lows, which would give us the manipulation that we were looking for. So if you took any 30-second longs in here, that would be the growing point. You want to see the manipulation happen and then you enter the trade. And so these 30 seconds were before the manipulation, before the SMT. And so that's why they weren't as high probability. I mean, the formation and the base plan was there, but it's definitely better when you get the manipulation and then you get the inversion. But yeah, we waited for this SMT to form since we were so clearly going down towards this obvious low and like a good low being New York AM low. After we get the SMT, it was nice that the more bullish pair was NQ and we get a 1 minute inversion. Unfortunately, this candle didn't inverse the fair value gap right there. So we hop in on the next candle, stop loss at the body low, target the 4 hour fair value gap, get a 1-to-1, make sure you get a 1-to-1. If you entered in late or anything, I think I might have entered in late this day too. If you entered in late, after you hit the 4 hour fair value gap, go break even and get your 1-to-1. This was a really clean and obvious continuation trade setup that I am very happy I capitalized on, and I made a good amount of money on this one. But that was kind of the main lessons to go over for Tuesday's price action. As a quick recap for Tuesday, the 30-second inversion wasn't clean to me, and I'm always saying this all like with the thought of I do want to grow in this and this is why I'm doing this. 30-second wasn't clean to me because of the inversion was in the previous leg. We also had this low here, but that doesn't really matter. I'm just being reactionary. This was kind of nice too because the previous day high draw was like super strong and clear and in line with the bias. The next thing was if you see that we're clearly trending towards like creating a manipulation, wait for the manipulation to happen in any continuation or reversal setups. So that was good. And then we had another clear draw of liquidity being this 4 hour, so we were good to take this continuation trade since we did still have an external draw, if that makes sense. All right, that's it for Tuesday, so let's jump into Wednesday and keep this going, boys. All right, boys, I got Wednesday, December the 3rd. PA pulled up. Y'all know this wasn't the good PA, boys. This one should be quick. Let's go over it. Pre-market, right? This was a day of bad price action. This was a no trade day. We were in a 4-hour bearish for value gap. We also tapped a 4-hour bullish for value gap. We had a SMT at previous day high, and we also had an SMT at some 4-hour intermediate lows below. So SMTs on both sides, respecting opposing side fair value gaps. Bias was super unclear. And then on top of that, oh man, let's jump into market open. Okay, so on top of the unclear bias, because we were respecting both, we dumped 200 and some points overnight, like right before market open. In my backtesting, in live trading, anytime we dump like an insane amount or pump an insane amount, the session's price action is always worse. Like the probability is lower. So we already knew that going into the day. But let's just play the day out. I mean, I'll show you guys a 5-minute. 5 minutes extremely choppy. And we got those SMTs. So here's this SMT at the low. It was taken out on ES. And also previous day highs taken out on NQ. Not on ES. So we had SMTs both sides. I already said that, but let's look at the PA. Almost hour of price action. It is just chopping around. I'll show you the 1 minute. I didn't have any trade setups this day. Here's a 5-minute fair value gap. But again, we're already in this huge imbalance. Just because we get this 5-minute gap tap and maybe an inversion in here does not mean we're going long. I mean, this was, to me, just choppy price action. Not even much to say. I might even just leave it as that. No, that's it. This is choppy price action. No trade setups for me today. No obvious draws of liquidity. It's two super important things. Obvious draw of liquidity, which, discussing the bias, we obviously don't have. No clean trade setups. Choppy price action. Let's go to Thursdays. All right, boys. Got Thursdays. Price action pulled up. Today was a break-even day. If you stuck it out this far, I appreciate you for watching. I hope this is some sauce for you and I. But let's get into this day as well. Right at market open. Higher time frame. I'll just turn off the drawings. All right. Higher time frame, right? 4-hour bearish for value gap. We just swept out a 4-hour intermediate high. Those are the signs for being bearish. Looks like clear AMD, accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. But on the bullish side, we are also respecting a 4-hour bullish for value gap. And we do have a SMT at this 4-hour intermediate low. So kind of these two closer 4-hour swing points, we have an SMT at, looks like. Yeah. So SMT and 4-hour gap, but also SMT and 4-hour gap above. I believe so too. So again, market's not giving us super clear bias, but we just gotta be reactionary. So let's get into the day. This is market open. We immediately dump lower without any trade setups for me to target these London lows, which is the red line. Quick pause, quick thing. ICT kill zone and pivots is a super good indicator if you trade ICT concepts. It shows you the sessions of New York AM session, London, Asia, New York PM session, and then New York lunch session, but I don't think any of us really use that. But that's a super good indicator, and then I just have the fair value gap indicator as well. But no setups towards the London low, which would be like prioritizing the bearish sentiment. But I didn't get any setups there, and just play at the price action, kind of chopping around a little bit. We did resweep the New York AM low, and we had this poopy inversion. I did not take this. Like, look at this chop, look how much later it is, and the inversion is not displacing in my opinion. So yeah, I didn't take that, but I did want to mark that out. Get rid of that really quick here. But yeah, I did notice here we are accumulating, and to me, This displacement candle is looking good. And this is the one I got break even on, and boy, was this a good break even trade, boys. All right, so we've got a 1 minute inversion, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We got a break even point, and kind of the main thing about this trade was we did have a 15-minute fair value gap created above us that even if we want to continue being short, we just swept out London lows, we should tap this 15-minute gap above, and we have a clear, obvious break even, and it was kind of like a good displacement candle. So yeah, took this trade. Watch this, boys. Break even, right? Boom. Boom. Sometimes you gotta trust that break even, boys. Sometimes you gotta trust that break even. All right, this one saved me. Good break even trade, I guess. But here, I'm like, damn. This is the AMD I was looking for. This is the AMD I was looking for. I'll show y'all. Accumulation, true manipulation, distribution, right? Yes. All right, another kind of theme going on with today, and I just need to find a way to grow from this. 2 minute gap was highest time frame inversion. Closed up here, nearly at like break even, nearly at the 15-minute. I couldn't really take this. The 15-minute. Oh, this was a point I want to talk about with my stop loss at the body lows, which is like the new thing I already changed about the way I trade. I had a target all the way up here when the 15-minute was right here, where we can reject from. So with the inversion being so high up above, and the stop loss right here, part of me is thinking like I want to be able to just like mess with my stop loss a little bit, like maybe put it under fair value gaps. Like there's a 1 minute gap right here, I could put it on this body low, but I don't know how to feel about that yet. Like this 1-to-1 would have played out. Go break even at the 15, let 1-to-1 hopefully play out, something like that. But it's just something I have to experiment with, something I have to do. But other than that, I didn't get any trade setups for this day. Honestly, let's just go into Friday. That was kind of the only point I wanted to talk about. So, give me a sec. Oh, really quick, super quick. After tapping this 15-minute gap, we did inverse a 5-minute. But the main reason I didn't want to take this is, again, I was just kind of unclear about the overall bias. Tapping the 15-minute right here, inversion of this 5-minute right here, this short to New York AM low ended up playing out. But kind of like I said from the previous days, I didn't really have like a strong draw of liquidity that I had to like target like externally. So this would be the low-hanging fruit, but I didn't have an external target because I believe this 4-hour intermediate was taken out on ES. Yeah, this 4-hour intermediate was taken out on ES. So we were kind of overall bullish a little bit too. I probably would have been mad if I took this trade, but it's just something I have to learn from. Let's go into the last day. Let's go into Friday. This will be the last one, boys. I appreciate you. Friday. All right, boys, we're on Friday. It was a no trade day for me, but there's a lot of info in this day that I gotta get into. So yeah, let's unpack it. All right, time frame or higher time frame. Sorry, I was just bullish on the day. We were clear respecting 4-hour bullish, disrespecting 4-hour bearish, and I had a 4-hour draw of liquidity that I wanted to get hit. It was a 4-hour high, and so I was just leaning bullish on the day. So let's drop down into the lower time frames and see what I got marked up. This is all for the future. I'll talk about it. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff from today. So play out market open, we go up, we take out London high. It's a red line. All right, we still have external draws above, so we are still good to look for longs. So right now we're looking to see how we react off of London high. I am leaning bullish, so I'm not really looking for those reversals towards any gaps below. I'm mainly leaning towards longs. Right here, we get a nice retrace towards a 5 minute fair value gap. We actually tapped 2 5 minute fair value gaps. And what was the entry? I believe it was a 4 minute. And again, this is just another theme from this week, I feel like, where I need to figure out like what's the concept I can put behind this that I can use to grow in. But we have this 4 minute inversion. It's a highest time frame inversion in this leg that it's a continuation setup. And on ES again, I swear ES is like kind of screwing me over. But on ES, we take out the break even, and then we also hit London high, which we've already hit on NQ. But we took out the current New York AM high, which would be break even, during the same time that the 4 minute on NQ was inversed. So I didn't take the trade. Dude, if I can figure out how to edit that fa sound right now, I would play that right now. But I don't know if I know how. Boom, straight to the draw of liquidity. So literally the only reason of not taking this was because of that whole ES thing. Luckily later in the day, after the session, my mentor Blake, super known, he's not like my mentor, but who I learned from, Patrick and Blake, PB Trading, he posted on Instagram he was good to take this. So he didn't care that ES took out the New York AM high. He was going to take it. I think he had some computer problems or something, and he wasn't able to. But, I mean, that gives me the answer that I should just take this kind of trade, even though ES took out the break even, the New York AM high, blah, blah, blah. I already explained it. But, I mean, when 99% of my trade opportunity is there, like, the whole continuation setup except for one thing, I mean, it's frustrating because I'm trying to get like profitable at trading, trying to get better at trading. I feel like I'm like all there except for like a few little things like this. But we got the 5 minute gap tap, highest time frame inversion. It's just that thing with ES. And so yeah, that's kind of frustrating, but it's good to know that I can just go about these kind of trades and just still take them and just kind of just use logic, I guess. And simplicity being, if I have 99% of the setup there, especially with like the career of trading, like nothing will ever be exactly the same every single time. And so I'm just going to use logic next time maybe. And if 99% of the setup is there, I'm just going to smack it. Because I already have to accept risk, and I already do accept risk. And so that was the lesson of this one, boys, for me. But yeah, it's not like I feel robbed. I just feel like disappointed. I want to do better, obviously, but that was this one. Let's play out the rest of the day because there is actually more to this day than just that. But unfortunately, I missed this nice clean long right here, targeting this. Boom. Nice 1.5 R2. Man, good 5 minute tap. Clear bias, clear draw liquidity. But yeah, gotta move on. It's all good. All right, so we take out the 4 hour draw, right? We have news soon, so do we have news soon? Shoot. When was news? Yes, I passed it. I'm sorry, boys. All right. Right here. News candle. All right, here we print news, right? And since I wasn't in this trade, I was looking for some trade opportunities. Got a 5 minute fair value gap formed right here. There we go. Now this is crazy to me. Oops. I was looking for this 5 minute gap tap with data high and 4 hour high still intact. So a continuation. Obviously we don't get the 5 minute gap tap. You know, I stayed disciplined. We didn't sweep out this low. So I didn't take it, right? Also, it would have been on 30-second because that was the only one. But this is a perfect opportunity for 30-second, being that we have strong data high draw, strong 4 hour high draw, and the whole continuation model just right there, right? This is crazy to me, boys. Didn't sweep this out on my chart on MNQ, which I have to trade MNQ because I do multiple 50K accounts. I don't do 100, 150K accounts. I buy the 50K accounts. Literally on NQ, we took out this low. So I'm going to mark it out super clearly. Here's this low, 5-minute gap, 30-second inversions, right? How do I do this? Whatever. NQ, NQ. Oh yeah, I already have it marked out. This is I'm gonna mark it out clean though. 5-minute gap tap on NQ. 5-minute gap tap on NQ. 30-second long. Mark out the inversion for the boys. I'll just mark out this whole imbalance if you know, you know. Boom. You enter in on this candle. We swept out the low on NQ. We swept out the low on NQ, not on MNQ. This is NQ. Boom. 30-second data high. We had the 4-hour high. All right, here's data high. 4-hour high. Y'all can picture it. So clean. Why do we take this out on NQ and not MNQ? What are we doing? I don't know. There's nothing I can do about that. Like, obviously I wanted these draws. Would have smacked it. Literally got edged on the 5-minute. If anyone had this happen to them too, let me know, because that was crazy. And I don't even know if I have to watch NQ like on a different chart now, just to make sure this doesn't happen again. But all right, that was that. I just wanted to point that out. That was crazy that I didn't get this trade opportunity, because MNQ and NQ, like one swept it out, one didn't. Like what? I've never seen that, so I want to talk about that. Let's continue playing out the day. Boom, 4-hour draw gets hit. So clean, dude. And that's why I'm just feeling like this week was like a week of like, just weird of how, like I was like so close to so many trade setups. Like I feel like not every single day, mainly this day, but multiple days it was like 3 trade setups maybe, or maybe stuff happened pre-market, or this thing happened, you know? It was just super weird, but I mean, this is why I'm documenting this. Growing opportunities. All right, let's lock in again. 4-hour draw liquidity gets hit, data highs get hit, and we have displace higher, right? So now we create an SMT at the highs. ES looking like this. SMT, SMT, lower, higher. Y'all get it, right? I'm already on the 2-minute because I know that's the highest time frame inversion. And I'm just going to play this out and talk about it. Here's a 5-minute gap below, because you know the reversal is you rebalance the 5 and 15 minutes below, yeah? So I didn't take this trade, and the reasons why, low-key external reasons of being hyper-focused on the draws above, but I mean, I just got to do better myself. There was some stuff going on, but I just need to lock in way more. Because to me, I've already spoke about this before. I need to be reactionary off of liquidity levels, and we had this clear SMT at the highs. We displaced higher on the chart, so we were leaving 5 and 15 minutes below. And then if we create an SMT and we get a clear inversion like this 2-minute, and a clear and obvious break-even point, I believe there was a 5-minute somewhere down here as well. Like this is when it's like what I call like shooting your shot on a trade. Maybe it's not the most clean thing, but this is when you shoot your shot on the trade and you take it. This is the model that I use. So I'm disappointed that I didn't recognize it for external reasons and for also myself. But I mean, this is documenting the truth of trading and the long journey of becoming profitable. It's not going to be easy, and this is just how it goes. So, but yeah, missed this short setup that obviously ended up playing out. So that's on me to make sure I'm locked in. External reasons, internal reasons, doesn't matter. Just making sure myself, like we just don't get hyper focused on one draw, always being reactionary. But at the end of the day, this is one trade setup. I'm green on the week. I had the one big winning trade and then the one break-even trade. And then I showed you all the rest of it, which hopefully had some sauce that you can take away from if you trade like me. But I mean, yeah, I think that was everything I want to talk about. I'm going to quick check my journal just in case for Friday. Yeah, just be reactionary. Don't ever get hyper-focused. Always take accountability for your own actions, boys. So you can truly grow. That's the only way you'll grow. But hopefully next week is a little bit better. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment anything down below. Literally anything, trades that you took, feedback about the video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is probably a longer one, so if you stayed tuned to the end, I appreciate you so much. But yeah, I believe this is week 3 of journaling my online trades. And yeah, this was a good one. I appreciate y'all. Peace.